What's up, y'all? This is indeed the E-Man, chill like a villain, sing like Bob Dylan, keeping on the with some dub stuff Oreos. This episode of Across the Spiderverse Roundtable featuring myself, Brookston and Shane, has 100% full spoilers. So if you're not watched the movie, please go back and watch the movie and then come back and listen or watch the show. So I want to say real quick, thank you so much for the love and prayers and thoughts. I've been dealing with some health issues, and forgive me last month for not putting out a new episode, but I've been dealing with some health issues. I'm still going to try to put out something once a month, and that's the goal, but I'm trying to keep things at a low stress frequency. So I want to say real quick, thank you so much to the good Lord above. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for getting me through that. Also, thank you to my family and friends. Thank you for my listeners, and viewers, and thank you to my job for your patience. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can't say that enough. And I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, y'all? This is indeed E-Man, chilling like a villain, sing like Bob Dylan, keep it on low with some double stuff Oreos. And right now, I'm here with a few friends of mine, and we're here to talk about the number one movie in America as of today, which is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I believe the last time I checked, it was like 200 worldwide at the box office, $200 million, which is pretty awesome. And let me introduce two of my friends right here. First off, I want to introduce a man who was a part of episodes number 30 and number 26, which were the Ant-Man and the Black Panther Wakanda Forever episodes. He's a dad. He's a pizza connoisseur. He's an overall cool guy. I want to give a big what's up to the Beard God, Brookston, to the show. What's up, Brookston? How you doing?
What's up, man? Glad to be here.
Glad to have you, bro. Good to see you, man. Glad everything is good. Next up, I have a man who has been on episodes number 24, 27, and 33, which are both of one was the Mario Brothers episode and two of the Ninja Turtle episodes, and also the Ant-Man episode. So that'll be episode 30. Just want to give a big welcome to a dad. He's also a founder of Tea Time Productions, Mr. Cowabunga Mike, to the show. What's up, Cowabunga Mike?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for showing up. So I just wanted to talk about this movie, man. Across the Spider-Verse. Now, 4 years ago, Into the Spider-Verse came out. It changed the game, and this movie is no different. I'm to be 100% honest with you, I watched this movie 3 times, and yeah, I watched it 3 times, and because the first time I watched it, it felt a little. There's so much going on, you know, to where like I was just like, I can't. It's almost impossible to get everything in one viewing, so I had to watch it, a second time and then even a third time. And just to get my quick thoughts on the movie, I thought it was I thought it was amazing. No pun intended. I thought it was amazing. It's so funny. Like back in the day, like to convince my mother, to watch anything animated that goes to the movies to the big screen, it took a bit of a task because her whole argument was, well, why watch Transformers the movie on the big screen and pay money to see that when you could watch Transformers at home? Well, now it's like, yeah, thanks to Disney, and I think those early Disney movies, which to me, like, they were masterpieces, and thanks to the early Pixar stuff, I think animation is just going to another level now. And this movie is no exception, man. I was really blown away. I'm amazed at what we're able to get now when it comes to, and you gotta give props to the MCU, because if it wasn't for the MCU, I don't think we would have this movie. This movie was just off the charts. I almost felt like I forgot I was watching an animated movie, and I think that's a kudos to the animators and the writing and all of the people behind the scenes, man, because the movie was fantastic. Those are my quick thoughts about the movie. I want to know your quick thoughts. I want to start off with the Beard God Brooks. And what did you think of this movie?
I thought this movie was, there's so many ways I can describe this movie, but I thought it was stellar. Um, there were so many callbacks. There were so many Easter eggs. There were so many, like, I mean, and it appeals to everyone, like from, your casual Spider-Man fan to someone who's been reading the comics for years. I mean, it appeals to everybody. And the storyline was well, the voice acting was on point, the action. I mean, and the score. Can we talk about the score and the soundtrack? Like, not
Yeah.
one song that I didn't like. Not one. Like,
Yeah.
I'm probably definitely going to get that soundtrack when it comes out. But overall,
Yeah.
it was a stellar movie. I've seen it twice. I saw it when it came out Thursday, and I just took my kids to see it earlier today, and they really enjoyed. So great
Excellent.
movie overall. Great movie.
And that's what I mean. An animated movie, to be successful, you have to be able to take your kids to see it, and you have to be able to enjoy it as well. And it seems like it accomplished that task. And both of you guys are dads. So Cowabunga Mike, what did you think of the movie overall?
I went into the movie looking to be entertained, but with zero expectations, mostly because, I mean, I've seen a couple of trailers. I love the first one. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the hype was there. It's just, I went into it when I say with zero expectations, meaning I didn't know what to expect. I had no, I got a gist from the plot that it had something to do with him preventing, or I'm sorry, from the trailer that it was something to do with preventing his father's death, and they were, stopping it, preventing him from breaking the canon. But I didn't know that they were referring to it as the canon the way they did it in the film, but I thought that was a clever little writing touch. But
Right.
as far as the direction it went, I think we can all agree when we saw that one teaser trailer with the Spot robbing the store, we all, I think, were involved in the ongoing joke of the movie that he wasn't even villain of the week material. And because I kind of shrugged him off. I thought it was just, oh, this is Miles, doing his normal day routine, and this is just some random, the direction it went, after that was something I wasn't expecting. And like the way they wrote it and the way they weaved a web of just continuity,
Yeah.
and I just, I was blown away. It's amazing how some of the story arcs in this movie were staring at us straight in the face in the first one. And I say that because, by the way, is this spoiler free or
Oh,
what?
totally spoilers, yes.
Okay. I say that
Mhm.
because when I went back and watched the original, the first one, you notice that Spider 42 is glitching. Right then and there, it's the giveaway. That Spider was not from his world. I'm like, oh wow. Um, so I don't know if they fully have planned this thing out or what. But again, I didn't know anything about this movie. I didn't do the research until after the fact. But seeing that it had three writers didn't surprise me, just because the way the movie's broken down in beats, like it had three writers and three directors from what I could see on IMDb. I don't know how they, broke it up, but I mean, the way I looked at it is like, they probably had someone doing the Gwen Stacy bits, the Spider-Verse bits, and then the Miles bits.
Uh,
But just the way okay, so you know how they have those Star Wars Vision show where like they do like these shorts, but it's done by different animation studios.
Right,
That's
right.
that's what, or I think Matrix did something like this too, and
And
it's
Liquid Television used to do that too.
okay. So this is what it felt like. It felt like that, but they all melded their styles together in one melting pot, which we got a little bit of that in the first film. But just seeing how Spider-Punk, which by the way, I'll get on Spider-Punk in a minute, just seeing how he was done, the animation style, how he was flat yet it's just, you can tell different animation studios covered different elements of this movie, and I thought it was beautifully done. It was, the writing, the animation, the sequences alone. I mean, that's the best way to describe them. They were sequences
Yep.
that weren't boring. They kept my eye completely, fixated to the screen, and I'm still blown away at what they can achieve, in animation and movie and storytelling with just the position of how they can make a camera follow the
Right.
action. The way, I mean, like you didn't get that at all in even early 2000 stuff. I mean, there were still very fixed point cameras when they did animation, and now I'm blown away. You know,
Now, this is what I want to know. Going on in the movie, and like I had to go back and watch it a second time. There's no way you can catch everything with one viewing, and I wanted to know what I want to spit out some of the things that I noticed. And again, guys, this is 100% spoilers. And so if you haven't watched the movie, you're going to want to turn away and then come back when you watch the movie. But there's so many things that I noticed, like Gwen's world was all watercolor, right? But the moment she became like a little depressed or down or whatever, it started to drip. And I said, that is so awesome. Brooks, and what are some of the things that you noticed the second time around that you watch, or even the first time around?
Dude, I mean, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, my daughter, she caught that. Like, she caught the fact that the background scenes and stuff, like, they kind of went with the person, whoever world it went with their moods. Like, and my daughter's like 10. I was like, that's impressive. Like,
Oh yeah,
she caught that like on her first viewing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But like when I went back and saw it the second time, I noticed there was a sketch like in the beginning, and you could
yeah,
see the original Miles, like the Miles of Earth 42 with the braids.
right.
And at first, I didn't know who that was, but of course, at the end of the movie, you see the reveal. I'm like, oh, shoot, like there he is right there. And it just kind of makes you wonder, okay, was it supposed to bite him or someone else or whatever? But just the way that, like, I love this movie so much. Like, I don't,
right?
I can't even, like, there's just, this movie gave so much fan service. It was executed so well.
Yeah.
I love the casting. Like, there's no one that I was like, nah, I don't think that person would have been good. Everyone knocked out their voice parts. Like, everyone, like, I had not one single complaint. Everyone fit. Everyone embodied their character. And the one thing that there's so much. There's so much. And you're right. It's like, I love movies like these because it was like the runtime was like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It was, yeah.
You didn't feel it. You did not
No,
feel it. Like, and
no, but
it still had like a to be continued. So it was like my son was mad because
okay,
he wanted to know what happened.
so here's the thing. This doesn't get, like, again, since I went into this movie with zero expectations, I hadn't done the research like I normally would do on movies like this. I had no idea that this was going to be a cliffhanger. So when I realized that, hey man, we're clocking in pretty late
Yeah,
on this,
yeah.
and there's like so many beats left of this story that I know they don't have time to condense in the next 10 minutes. So I was like, what's happening here? And then when they did that reveal at the end that he went to Earth 42, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah.
um, that's when and the fact that you caught that, Emmanuel, kudos to you and your eagle eye. This man immediately catches the mom's eye color was different. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. I'm like kudos to you because I didn't realize what was happening until Uncle Aaron walked in the door. And another thing, going with what you said with the music, everybody knows the Prowler's music. So
Yeah.
when they played his music, oh,
Like,
oh
oh,
man.
shoot.
I mean,
Heck yeah.
going back and watching the first film and hearing it, you're like, man, they have a way of, again, the storytelling doesn't just stop with the writing. It's with the music, and again, it's got original music. It's
Yep,
original
yep.
music that definitely plays out for the scene, the characters, and it reminds me of hearing theme music for characters, for moments. You're like when you watch like old Star Wars films, and
Right.
Han, Leia's theme, you know Luke's theme, like you know the Prowler's theme, you know Miles's theme. You know, I still have Sunflower stuck in my head after all these years. I know you heard me in the theater
Yeah,
humming
yeah,
it,
yeah.
but like still, it's just one of those things where the story is just, you know, like I said, it doesn't stop with just the writing. It's you know, and the thing is, it's a good thing your daughter picked up on that, because I think that that's what they were trying to achieve. And I think when I hear stories like that, it's like, oh wow, you know, mission accomplished, that they were able to convey that kind of emotion, and that your daughter picked up on the atmosphere that they were, you know, insinuating that with. So I think it's cool.
It is awesome. But you know, I want to go back to like what you're talking about, like something I caught, and and Brooks, and I want to know what you thought, because I thought it was so smart the way they did it, because there were a lot of conversations. There's like a few conversations, or one main conversation between Miles and his mom. You know, they were like back and forth, and you would kind of see the similarities in their faces and the color of their eyes. And I was like, why are they doing this? I mean, of course, a lot of the dialogue was really, you know, it was needed, but I thought it was really smart, because the moment when he was in Earth 42, I was like, wait a minute, her eyes are green. I was like, oh, so that's why they did that dialogue between him. So you'll take notice of that. You know what I mean? I thought that was so smart the way they did that. I also noticed this, like in that scene where Miles realizes he's in the wrong universe, Gwen also realizes in the universe that she's in that he's in the wrong universe, because her spider sense goes off, which leads me to think that they're connected telepathically in a way. I mean, that's just my thoughts, you know. So yeah, I mean, I just thought that was really, really, really well done, man.
You know, something else I picked up in that scene only after the fact was you know, did you notice that the TV was, that when he was tied up on the in Uncle Aaron's apartment, the TV was playing and it was talking about the Sinister Six?
Yeah,
No.
Okay,
yeah.
so here's my thing. If Peter Parker never got bit by Spider 42, which is from that universe, Peter Parker is in that universe, maybe he might not be Spider-Man. So here's the idea. I don't know, but like, wouldn't it be crazy if Peter Parker was actually one of the Sinister Six members? Like, what if Peter Parker ended up being Goblin or something like that? Because the canon, and that's what gets me. Already the fact that the spider from 42 bit Miles, that should have broke canon in 42 world, but it hasn't. It hasn't caused a meltdown in that world, which already to me proves Miles is always supposed to be Spider-Man. If you think about it, because the moment that spider didn't get to bite Peter Parker, then that should have broke canon, right? According to Miguel's thoughts or whatever on the matter.
Well, I think somebody had said this, and I don't know if you guys agree with it. I think because when Miguel and Miles were kind of going at it and fighting, and then Miguel calls Miles an anomaly, the original anomaly. You should have never been Spider-Man. Da 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 da. Somebody said something interesting. I forgot it was on the podcast. They said that was kind of representative of a lot of people in the beginning when Miles Morales was created. They were against Spider-Man,
I'm glad
Miles being Spider-Man in the first place. I think
I
that
picked,
represents that,
Oh,
I picked
definitely.
up
which
on
I
that
think was
big time.
There was a
really,
lot of
really smart
pushback.
and well done. I
Yes.
was almost second guessing. I was like, damn, is he supposed to be Spider-Man? I mean, because you know, from the
Yeah.
first movie, you saw the spider glitching. You're like, was that meant for him, you know, to be Spider-Man? But now I'm thinking about it. I thought it was just so well done, man.
But but
Man,
but but did Miguel say whether or not that Peter Parker died or not? Because if
No,
that Peter
there was no mention of the Peter Parker of
from
well, he
42,
did say something, but he said the Peter Parker of Earth 42 never got bit.
yeah. So
right.
I'm like, again, you know, if that's the case, then that world should have imploded the way he suggested. So I mean, I feel like Miguel's hiding something in that sense, because it doesn't follow what his logic is on why canon breaks and how it causes that whatever the collapse of the the node or whatever. But again, I wouldn't be surprised because here's the thing: we got a whole nother film,
Mhm.
and I really feel like that Sinister Six reference is not just casual. I really feel like, oh well, we know who the villains might be in this next one.
We got a whole nother film. I'm not 100% convinced that Kingpin is dead or where, I'm not what I'm saying? So there's so much going on and I'm excited. I knew it was going to be a part two because from the first trailer, it was called, originally it was called like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to Beyond the Spider-Verse. Kind of pull like a Kevin Feige, like when he was doing Infinity War and Endgame, because it was supposed to be called Part 1, Part 2. But I want to know, like, this is something I was thinking about, and I want to know what you guys think. I think this movie is going to make a lot of money.
Oh
I
yeah,
would I think
definitely.
it's possibly going to make $1 billion. If that is the case, do you think, because when you make a movie that's this good and people respond to it like that, do you think that MCU, some of these other big, even DC might start doing animated movies straight to the big screen rather than live action stuff? Because really, like, it transcends. It's better to be animated at times, because you're able to do a lot more. So, what do
Well,
you think?
okay, my opinion on that. Um, for the longest time, Marvel has been better at the films and the movies, which they've slacked off in the past phase. But DC has always been superior with the animated movies. Maybe not the like straight to movie motion picture animated movie, but the straight to DVDs.
Oh
DC's
yeah,
animation is on point.
Yeah. No, it
Um,
is.
it's so I don't know if they feel like they need to rise to the challenge to meet like stuff that's on the caliber of like Into the Spider-Verse. Um, because they already have such a good catalog of movies and they make high quality movies like straight to DVD, straight to Max, or where they thought about doing something, or other companies other than the big two. But I mean, DC they already make stellar movies that don't necessarily go to the big screen, and you can watch them. I mean, like Flashpoint. Flashpoint is such a great example because even though it wasn't nearly as long and it didn't tell like the complete story, it did such a good job of like just letting you know the most key parts of that story and the importance of it.
right.
And it was so well done. And it's like, I don't know if like I don't even know if the Flash movie is going to be better than Flashpoint because right now the animated version was so good that that's the standard. That's
Right.
like what people are going to compare the Flash movie to because they're both attempting to do like the Flashpoint paradox, storyline. So it's kind of hard to tell if, and besides, this is a Sony property and Sony they're really turning up with their possession right now
No
because
kidding.
because with
Considering their
this
past.
with this whole series of Spider-Man Miles Morales and the two Spider-Man PS games that came out, I
Mm,
mean those two were instant classics. I don't know if you've ever played them, Emmanuel, but they're really good.
I
Um,
haven't.
they really are.
Yeah, I
They're,
agree.
they're probably some of the best like PlayStation games. My son played both of them twice. He went through both of them twice. He loved that game so
Wow.
much.
Man, I'm going through Miles Morales on PS5 right now, and I'm loving it. It's like
It's
the atmosphere because it's around Christmas time too. So like web slinging through the city with the snow and the Christmas ambiance. It's
yeah.
it's cool.
Dude, the
Uh,
only thing that people like have gripes with, the second one is that it's too short. Like they want more content. They want more of an arc because they feel like it wasn't as, it didn't give as long as an arc as the second one. But as far as the mechanics, as far as the gameplay and all that good stuff, it's on point. Like
yeah,
you can't really ask for much more from a Spider-Man game.
You know,
So go ahead.
considering Sony though, like they've had a couple of misfires too. Because like what you said, like they're running with the ball now because they got Miles Morales is almost like a guaranteed cash cow. Just because of the success in the first one, and they got that Oscar under their belt. But when you think about Morbius and oh god, I know there's another one. I know there's another one. I
Did
mean,
y'all catch the Morbius joke in the movie? I know I told Shane about it, but did you
yeah,
catch it?
I did not. What was it? I
So
missed that one.
When Gwen and Miles are swinging through the city and she's talking about Miguel, she's like, "Yeah, Miguel's like this cool ninja vampire," and Miles says, "A good," but she says he's like a ninja vampire, but he's a good guy. And then Miles says, "A vampire that's a good guy. I'll pay to see that."
I remember that. I remember that.
See?
Okay.
Yeah.
That was morbid. You know what? That movie is so not on my radar, dude. Like, that is the only like Marvel property I did not watch.
It's on Netflix if you want to see it.
I mean it's Sonyan.
Nope. I don't.
It's
I really don't.
it's bad.
Like,
It's bad. God, it's bad.
That's what I heard.
The Donald Glover cameo was pretty big. There's a lot going on in just that one cameo.
oh yeah, they pretty much confirmed that we might see him again in the MCU or another Spider-Man film with Tom Holland. Because
Yeah.
here's my thing. How did live action version of him get in that Spider-Verse in the first place if it wasn't the Doctor Strange mishap? Because he would have technically known who Spider-Man is, and he probably would have fallen into, you know what I mean?
I'm not sure, but I just thought that was I thought it was cool because a lot of the reason why Miles Morales exists is because Donald Glover had this huge campaign back in 2010 where he was trying to be Spider-Man, and Brian Michael Bendis created. That never happened. Brian Michael Bendis created Miles Morales hugely because, he wanted to see Donald Glover as Spider-Man. And then Donald Glover also, ended up doing like the voice of Miles Morales on like I think it was it Spectacular Spider-Man on one of those shows. But there's a lot going on in that cameo. He has a huge history with the whole with Miles Morales. I thought that was a cool cameo.
Yeah, and I actually and like you were saying before, like it just kind of confirms that like all this stuff is connected. And I'm glad that Marvel and Sony are working together. And it's like you saw the live action clips of like Uncle Ben, you saw Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Right.
You're seeing like all this stuff, like and everything is interwoven. And it's like it makes it feel more authentic, it makes it feel more complete. Like this is a genuine, like big whole Spider-Man story that's being told that's extremely high stakes because of the different realms of Spider-Man mythos that's reaching. And I just think it really added sort of a gravitas to the film, having these cameos and all these live action footage of different Spider-Verses and all that good stuff. It just really made the movie that much more immersive to me.
And the tree. Did you notice the tree looks like the branches that's breaking off in the MCU? Did you notice that?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I picked up on that too. It looked like the sacred timeline tree splitting.
Yeah. I thought that was really, really cool.
Amazing how everybody's got their own take on a multiverse right now. Multiverses are trending.
look, just to say, like, and we talked about this, Shane, too, like, the new Transformers movie that's going to be coming out. You said there's rumors that it might be a reboot. I think that movie's going to surprise a lot of people because think about it. They Hasbro or I think it's Paramount that owns Transformers too, right?
Yeah.
They need something, you know what I'm saying? And so now the benefit about the cool thing about this movie that is about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is like now these studios understand, like, look, you can make these complex storylines and multiverses and do all of this stuff, and it's not gonna confuse the general audience because they love that stuff. I've said this before in other podcasts, what I mean, in other episodes where it's like it's a totally different audience now. The audience the general audience understands these concepts, so they can really take that Transformer movie and do it the right way. I think the last good Transformer movie to come out was the third one. Bumblebee was okay. But I think they could really do a really good Transformer movie. I think that's what we're going to get. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that franchise has a very good shot of being revived. Depending on what happens. I mean, freaking Unicron is coming to Earth. So it's incredibly obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's extremely high stakes. And it looks to be what would be probably the last Transformers movie in that storyline. So if something did happen to where something did break off or something fractured or whatever, and we got like a reboot, this movie would probably be the perfect thing to set it off. Because, I mean, with Unicron coming, like, it's pretty much, they're going to have to pull something out of their hat to like stave this off, you know?
And it takes place in the 90s, by the way.
And I'm really curious to see like how they pull this off.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it. You know, might as well. You know, I ain't got nothing else going on now. Before we leave off, I want to ask you guys, your theories on Across the Spider-Verse real quick. Well, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen? What are some of the thoughts that are looming in your head about this movie?
My theory, well, I knew it was going to be like a 3-part, movie, or 3-part series. And there was also speculation about there being like a spinoff with the girls, with basically the female, with Gwen, Jessica, like just the females.
Right.
I didn't hear too much more about that, but I heard that project is in the works. But I mean, with the success that this movie is probably going to get, it's probably as good as gold, I love how they build up from the last movie to this one. It's even more high stakes. It's even more grandiose. It's even more like, and so the next one, you enter this new opponent, which is, Miles Morales, the Prowler, who appears to be so different from, like, his dad died. So there's no telling how that could have affected him, turn him in.
Right.
Like, his uncle's just trying to help him out or whatever. But it's yet to be revealed whether the Prowler is a hero in this world or he's a villain. Like, we don't know that yet. We know that he's not the same Miles. We know that, okay, this dude's different. Like, he's cut from a different cloth. But we don't know what kind of role he's going to play in Earth 42. And as of right now, Miles doesn't have a way to get home. Because, I mean, while he was chained up, like, his little watch thingy was on the fritz. Like, you saw it like glitching and all that good stuff.
Oh, no, he never had it.
Oh, he never. What was that glitching there?
He was glitching because he was in the wrong universe.
Oh, I'm talking about his wrist. I don't know. It might have been him like messing with his powers.
No, okay. He was okay. He had that metal chain. That's the thing. He was about, whenever dude was getting close to him, he's about to electrocute that chain and cause it to zap out. That's the cliffhanger, is that's about to happen, because you can see him building the spark on his fingertip.
And it's like, and he's about to. He's got that smirk on his face. Like, at the end, he's like, "Yeah, I'm about to get out." So
yeah, he had a hole in his glove. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He had a little hole in his glove.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was.
Yep.
Bro, that this movie is going to hit the ground running, because it's already going to start with Gwen's crew basically looking for him. And right off the bat, you can see it's going to be Gwen's crew versus Miguel's and his crew, So like I said, I kind of echo my son's sentiments, but I had to remind him, I'm like, son, these movies take a while to get made. Like, you just gotta wait like everybody else. I was like, they crammed 2.5 hours of story already. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, he was upset. He was like, I want to know what happens at the end. I was like, well, we're gonna have to wait, son. And I love. You
don't have to wait too long. Like, I think it comes out in May.
But
May or March.
Well, either way, that's not far away for a sequel.
No,
That's
considering it's
pretty
animation.
good. That's pretty good. So,
But yeah, the
I'm
production
really,
actually already wrapped.
oh,
Yeah, so
well,
you ain't got to worry about it. It's no writer strike interfering with that. The production's already wrapped.
At this point,
Um,
I'm just hoping I live long enough to see it. That's what you're saying.
hey, that's a fact.
Like at this point, it's just fate. I'm like, well, if I see it or not, it's just if I live.
dude, it's a good time to be a nerd, man. It's
Right?
a
Bro.
wonderful time to be a nerd. I never
Bro.
thought that, like, at 42 years of age, I'd go to a movie theater and see characters that I was reading about when I was a child on the silver screen.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's mind blowing, man. It's like a dream come true.
And Guardians 3 was dope too. Shoot.
I really enjoyed that. You know what? I really enjoyed that. Was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Sans the Adam Warlock, but other than that, just the kind of storyline and like everything that they crafted, like everybody's been through a little bit of something, you know? Like everybody's got a little trauma, everybody's got a little damage. And just at the end, like, and it played with your emotions so much. And it was such a good choice to center everything around Rocket because he has a very compelling story. He's like one of the favorites on the team. And it just, with everybody dancing at the end, it was almost like they were kind of releasing trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like they were processing and they were working through and just kind of coming to grips with where they are in life at that point in time. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, you know?
Yeah.
And,
especially what we've been through as with the whole Corona thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? And we're still going through it.
But it was really refreshing to see them add that much depth to a movie that's typically known to be goofy. Yeah. That's typically known for like its comic relief, that's typically known for its one-liners and its humor, to have this kind of heavier, more real storyline. So I was really impressed with that. I love it.
You know, the funny way I look at it is, you know, in the first movie, he made the audience care about a tree. Because, you know, when Groot sacrifices himself, I think everybody was touched by that whole moment at the very end. And then, you know, Yondu in the second one, you know.
Oh, man, that made me cry, man.
You know, anybody who has father issues or something like that one in particular, I was like, oh, yeah.
I felt that, man.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely hitting those notes. But in the third one, yeah, they made audiences care about a raccoon in ways we never thought we would 20 years ago in cinema. You know, I mean, really care about the outcome of this, whether or not this raccoon lives or not. And man, you know, all his friends too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of one of those things like, you know, I have a friend that said he loved it. It was great. He'll never watch it again. I'm like, why? He's like, man, the animal stuff's too rough. He's like, it's just too rough. I get it, but it's just like, you know, but yeah, Guardians 3 was good.
What are your theories about Across the Spider-Verse, Shane?
Okay, so my theories, you know, honestly, you made me remember the whole thing with the hole in the glove and the him touching the chain. Like that was coming back to me. So here's the thing. You know, clearly whatever's happening in World 42, I feel is like a direct result of the spider not being present to bite Peter Parker, instead going to Miles's universe or world. So that being said, you know, I never gave much thought to whether or not the Prowler is like an anti-hero or if I'm looking at that because in the credits he's known as Miles B. Morales, so that's how you know he's the the different one. So you know, Miles B. Morales, he seems really hostile, but I mean that could be just, you know, if you think about what, you know, he asked him, is he dead yet? You know, talking about his dad, you know, and clearly that Miles lost his father. So does it make him more of a Batman character where he's, you know, more of a brooding vigilante, or has it made him bitter? Because the other thing I was picking up is Uncle Aaron seems broken. Does he not? Did Uncle Aaron not? He seemed broken. Like
he's not the same. He's not the same.
I got the impression he answers to Miles. Miles calls the shots, it seems like, and Uncle Aaron just goes with it. But if you were Uncle Aaron and you had to look out for your son, your brother's son, maybe Uncle Aaron doesn't like what Miles has become. So that's the thing. I'm curious to see what arc Uncle Aaron will play in the third film that might give him a sense of redemption for our Miles that he needed, in sense of maybe his Uncle Aaron does have a redeeming quality about him. Now that being said, also again, you have Team Gwen and Team Miguel, but I just feel like they're gonna be in Earth 42 for quite some time. I feel like a good bit of that film might be taking place there because, but I could be wrong because the whole thing is he's got to get back to his Earth, which is where Spot's at.
Right.
I'm not sure how he's gonna take out Captain. I will say this. I feel like they seem to be going through a lot of trouble and a lot of Miles being very confident that no one's telling him how his story goes for us to go ahead and accept the fact that his father's going to die. So at this point, I know his father's going to live. I want to believe his father's going to live. I just have to see how he's going to pull it off. Because when Gwen says, "My gut tells me," and Miguel told her,
"Do what your head tells you."
Oh yeah, that right there was what I needed to hear. I'm like, no, the fact that Miles is the anomaly makes me believe that he is the only one who might be able to do something, that
so possibly like break the chain,
Yes, exactly. So I don't know, I'm curious how this is gonna pay off, and the thing is, I actually feel bad for Spot. The Spot, I don't feel bad, but it's just one of those things like, man, if that happened to me, and you saw how he was struggling talking about how his wife left him and he just needed to get some honey out of the ATM.
Yeah, that's that's his skin now, man. Like that's traumatic in of itself.
I mean, seriously, all I could think of was, what would I do? That's a horrible, way to live out your life. I mean, and the way he really blamed Miles, and Miles didn't want to take any accountability for it. Of course, he was in the dark about a lot of it. It's all a matter of perspective and stuff. But it's just, I'm really curious how this is all going to play out. And I want to believe that we're going to get some Sinister Six action. Because here's the thing, Sony is dying to create a Sinister Six.
They've been dying to make a Sinister Six movie.
Oh my God!
Exactly.
So they've been trying. They try to do it with Morbius. They try to do it with Vulture and Tom Holland. It's just they want to bring that to fruition so bad. So if we don't get some Sinister Six action, then I will be surprised, because this is their one opportunity to be like, all right, squeeze it in there. And the thing is, I'm excited because I just remembered how cool Vulture was from
that Vulture.
The Leonardo da Vinci looking sketch Vulture, man.
That was one of my favorite parts of the whole movie, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it looks so cool, man. Oh gosh.
It's just, yeah.
But I want to say something real quick when you talk about the Spot. The part where Miles and the Spot's minds kind of meld or whatever. And he's like, what is this? He says, "It's your future." Dude, that was that, and Jason Schwartzman, did the voice of that, of the Spot. And I found it really cool that Uncle Aaron bears a striking resemblance to Rakim. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but doesn't he look like Rakim?
Now that you mention that, he does.
Absolutely.
He looks a lot like Rakim. And then when they put that song on, I'm like, I did not catch that. I caught the song. I was like, shoot, they got a Rakim song up here? That's
yeah, man.
But yes, he does look a lot like Rakim, especially the Earth 42 version with the gray in his beard.
Yeah.
I did not catch that.
And they play, he's playing "Ain't No Love in the Heart" on the vinyl.
Yeah,
Yeah, that whole scene was so cold. I really thought he put a hole through Miles's head, like when he punched the
man,
punching bag.
right?
That was good. That was good because you're like, oh shoot, like I mean,
Yeah.
it just got real all of a sudden, you know, like it was already real enough that he was like tied up in chains. But
Well,
then, like, when he punched with the glove, it's like Uncle Aaron was like, all right, shut up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, do you
he's
remember
like,
what he
I'm done.
said? He said, "I'm not the Prowler." But the thing is, it almost sounded like he was bitter about it. Like, like
Mm.
because he had the glove on and then he had to take it off and give it back, you know. But it's just the way he said it, like almost seemed like he resented the fact that he wasn't the Prowler. I'm curious to see. Here's what I'll say. You know how it threw me for a loop that it opened up with Gwen instead of Miles in the beginning. Wouldn't it be something if it opened up with Miles B. Morales and we see how he became the Prowler as the
That would be
opening?
cool.
Smooth. Like,
I mean,
I think that's what everyone is like wanting to see now. Like, because that's the big question. Like, how did it get this way? Because we know the Miles Morales of Earth, like 13, whatever, but this Miles, like, is totally different. And everybody's how did he turn out this way? And I
and
think that's going to really tie into the whole anomaly. I think there's a bigger story to this anomaly, and I think that um Spider-Man 2099, he's crafting his own narrative of it. Like I think he knows more than he's telling. And
yep.
Oh yeah.
I think there's something to that world, not just Miles himself being the anomaly that we have yet to discover.
I want to know if, like, since Gwen's dad is no longer an officer, would that affect the
Protect.
canon? And would that
That's what
cause
I
her
was thinking
world?
too. That might cause a
Yeah.
canon event because he never becomes captain and he never like gets killed on the job. So
Right.
that might cause a canon event like in and of itself.
Yeah, because he said he quit 3 feet from the door in that moment.
Right.
Right.
He's like, I quit 3 feet, from the door, just now. So I was like, oh, so like right then and there, so here's the thing. Whenever he said that, that's when I also noticed the watercolor bleeding behind her. I thought,
Really?
honestly, I thought she was breaking canon in her own world by doing that. But then I realized it was them trying to convey emotion because that's when he asked her for a hug and she
Right.
pulled
Yeah, yeah,
herself
yeah.
close and they had their moment and stuff. But yeah, it kind of threw me off because when I realized, oh wait, if he's not Captain Stacy, he doesn't die. But the thing is, like that, either Uncle Ben or Captain Stacy dies. But like that hasn't that for Gwen, isn't it Peter dying for her? Isn't that her tragedy, or he doesn't count? When Peter, because I love the idea that Peter was the lizard. I
Yeah.
love that he was the
Yeah.
lizard, but I thought that was her tragedy because the thing is, she talked about that in the first film.
Right,
I
right,
thought I
right.
thought that was the Uncle Ben equivalent of something tragic happening to her. So I mean, if that means that because
I was
they
confused on that too. I was a bit
because
Well,
confused.
if you
okay.
think about it, she's an anomaly too. Then if you think about it, because she's the only one that doesn't have a Uncle Ben or a Stacy die. It's the Peter Parker that dies. You know what I mean?
But I think that this is where the next movie is really going to answer a lot of questions because it takes into account, okay, is it possible to still preserve a universe if one canon event is missed? But as long as you have like several others, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you saw like the different canon events they had, like you saw like Mary Jane, you saw Venom, you saw like, certain key things that were like multiple events throughout the lives of a spider person. And it's like, okay, evidently the one where, the Uncle Ben or the significant person, the Peter Parker in Gwen's case, if you lose that, then that is the scale of things that could cause things to unravel. But the impression that I got is that there are multiple canon events, but some aren't as severe as others. And that's
Okay.
just a theory that I have. I don't have a really solid basis for that, but that's what I'm leaning toward right now. And there are just a whole lot of questions that we're gonna have to wait for the next movie to come out to be answered.
Did you did
Okay.
you guys notice Punk Spider Punk he was stealing stuff and when he was like,
Yeah.
but he was
I
building
know,
that
look, the
bracelet.
second time around, I was like,
Yes.
this dude is up to something, man. Like,
Dude.
I love that. I absolutely do. Like his involvement and like how he was just on the low, like just, I mean, it seems like he was just being obnoxious or he was just like whatever, but everything he did like had a purpose. Like everything he did. I mean, even from the beginning, he was like, use your palms, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like even from the beginning, he was helping
when
him.
when he was like this, and then he's like, I quit. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. You're just like, I'm surprised we haven't mentioned Spider-Man India.
Oh,
Like, honestly, he was cool. Like his sequences were great too. I love, like, again, that was a whole different animation style. It was like you could see the pencil stroke marks in some of the characters and stuff. But like, I love that they got the actor from Deadpool to play the voice of that version.
He was in Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the driver. Yeah, I don't ask me to say his name, but yeah. But yeah, no, it's like I really, and the thing is, I think it was I think him showing up at the end in Gwen Stacy's team
Right.
kind of helps support your theory that certain canon events might not be necessarily as bad, because obviously he lived.
Yeah.
I mean, he was able to show up at the end and join Team Gwen. So
oh man, and seeing Spider Noir and seeing all of those guys, but I was like, yes, that's like my favorite character for the first film, Spider Noir.
I have to admit, I was not expecting Spider-Man T-Rex, but man, I'm glad I did. I didn't know that's something my eyes needed to see.
Dude,
I didn't know. I was like, right. And he pulled out the little raptor or the little dino arm.
Dude,
it was great.
Dude, did you notice? This is something really small, but do you notice like the part where before when Peter B. Parker and Miles were like talking, and then like the other Spider-Man were coming after Miles, and Miles pulled up that floor and he went through those gears of the clock. That's kind of a throwback to Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, remember when he was rescuing Gwen and the gears were falling?
You're absolutely right. You were absolutely right. I did not catch that.
His thing, when he was on the run and when he was beating the floor and all that, he clearly had an objective that only he was in on. I'm like, he knows what he's doing. And I know he knows what he's doing, but I don't know what he's doing. But he was moving with such purpose through those gears and stuff. And then I realized, he's luring them all away. And, he had his moment, and then goes back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, it says a lot about his thing. It says a lot about Miles that he was able to best all those Spider-Men on their turf or their headquarter turf. Get out. I mean, he didn't reach his destination, but he definitely got out. It says a lot about Miles. It really does.
Because that was a lot of spider people, and probably more than half of them were like way more experienced than he was. And he was like outmaneuvering people. He was like sliding in between webs, and like it was a very impressive scene, honestly. And
dude, they had Spider-Man and a friend Spider-Man in there. Did you notice that?
That was some comic relief for me, boy. I enjoyed that. I was like, what's he gonna do? It's like, oh, yep, exactly what I thought. Exactly what I thought. But man, this movie was just so satisfying on so many levels. Because here we are talking about it and all excited about what's gonna happen next. We all sat through a 2.5-hour movie, more than once. And I know it's not going to be my last time. I'm going to see it again, definitely. And it was so well done. It was so well done. And I cannot say enough about this movie. It's been a long time since I've been this excited about like a franchise and about like storyline. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the life that they kind of breathed back into the franchise. And I mean, shoot, it's like you're excited to go to the movies, like, because I mean, this one was, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I believe that this one was better than the last.
Yeah.
And not saying like the last one was bad or anything. The last one was stellar, but this one was just even better.
It just cranked it up a notch.
Yeah, exactly. And no shade whatsoever, but it's just impressive, because how typical is it that we have a sequel that is definitively better than the first?
I even
Yeah.
like that they had the little antidotes in there to give you reference points to things you might
Yeah,
not necessarily know
that
about.
was good. I like
You know,
that.
because you know what I think that is? That's subliminally, not even subliminally, that's subtly trying to convert moviegoers who maybe not have read a comic and possibly pull them in a little bit. It's like, hey, welcome to our world. This is what it's like. This is the format, and this is what you get sometimes in these reference, little bullet points and little asterisk, little boxes, so you at least have something to reference if you need to like understand about something. I thought that was really neat because the whole time I'm seeing them, I'm making mental notes so I can go home and Google them.
It and it's smart too because you have to now when it comes to DVD or Blu-ray, you have to buy it so you can pause and read what
Oh yeah, because
some of the
they
stuff
went up quick. I'll admit that they went up pretty
real
quick.
quick. I
Hey,
mean, another
did
one
you
of my
have
favorite parts. Beep 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 beep.
That was, you know what? We didn't
Beep,
talk
beep,
about
beep.
that at all, but just the fact that they included like Lego Spider-Man.
yes,
You had so many different versions. I really like the fact that even though he was kind of emo, he was a little more emo, like for my liking, but the Scarlet Spider, like they had
oh
him in there, and
man,
he was like one of like his main henchmen, and he's definitely going to be in the next one. So it's I just love how they carved the ones who had speaking parts, how they carved out, and it was so definitive and it was so different from the rest. Like, yeah, they were a Spider-Man, but this one's from this universe, and this one has this niche, and this one has this that's special about them. The web slinger with his horse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's a cool addition. Like, I've
yeah.
only seen him in comics
Peter
maybe
Parker.
twice, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but it was really cool to see him.
The
And
fact that he had, why does the horse have a mask? I'm like,
yeah.
uh,
And it's like
awesome, dude.
there was so much. It's like there was emotion, there was action, there was humor. I mean, it just checked like all the boxes. It really did.
Oh yeah, for sure. But guys, real quick before you guys go, can you tell us how to reach you? If people want to reach you. Brooksy?
If anybody wants to get a hold of me, contact Mr. E Man,
There you
and
go.
I will get back to you directly.
Right on. And Shane.
If you want to get a hold of me, I'm on Instagram as Shane Dempsey, or Mr. Tea Time. It might come up as that too, but that's how you can get a hold of me.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Well, thanks guys for the incredible conversation, man. And thanks guys. And thanks. Oh, I want to say real quick, thank you guys for all of the prayers because I've been going through some health stuff. And
Yeah,
I
man.
want to thank everybody for the prayers and the thoughts. I really appreciate it, guys. God is good. That's all I gotta say. So talk to you guys soon. Peace.
All right, man. You take care. Take care, Shane.
Yeah, man. Take care.